Yo, it's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. I'll be breaking down Jack Hermansson versus Edmen Shahbazyan, man. This is a really good scrap. At middleweight, we got some middleweight contenders. Let's look where they're ranked. My boy Jack Hermansson is at number 7, and Edmen Shahbazyan is at number 10. Yeah, man, these guys are ranked. Interesting that they matched them up. I was really surprised that they did this, but it is what it is. They want to match up Edmen again with another top contender. I guess I don't know. Since the Derek Brunson fight, I thought they would give him someone lower, so they're giving up someone higher. Maybe they want to give Jack, I guess, somewhat of a tune-up fight. I wouldn't call this a tune-up fight, but it's in terms of where they're both at in their careers. This is more appealing to Jack than it is to Edmen. But it is another. It's one of those fights. It's like, how can Edmen say no to number 7 guy when he got I think given the number 8 guy or number 10 guy in Brunson. I don't know what he was ranked at the time, but so it's another opportunity at a higher ranked opponent that just was coming off a main event loss. So you can't be mad at him for taking the fight. It's not the smart fight, but can't be really mad at him. But yeah, man, let's get to the stats. Jack Hermansson comes with a record of 21-6. He's fighting out of Norway, age 32, height 6'1", and reaches 75.5, which is going to be really interesting in this matchup. Edmen is 11-1. He's fighting out of Glendale, California, age 23. He's really young kid. He's He's only 3 years older than me, which is wild. He got a height of 6'2" and a reach of 74. So, man, it is what it is with this matchup. But if we look at a guy like Edmen and some of his notable wins, man, I saw the kid. First fight I ever saw of him was against Darren Stewart. It was a really good. I wouldn't say a good fight, but it was. I don't know how to describe it, but it is what it is, kind of. Darren Stewart is one of these guys that I feel like has been a really good key in kind of exposing some of these hype trains that Derek Brunson fought, and Kevin Holland and Edmen Shahbazyan. And I don't want to disrespect these kids by calling them hype trains, but it is what it is. Derek did beat them, so I think it's kind of fair to say that at this point. But yeah, man, I feel like these Darren Stewart fights with both of those guys kind of told me where they're at. And Darren Stewart, I felt like he lost the fight, but Edmen was getting tired, and Edmen's a first round finisher. Like, if you look at some of his fights before, the Antonio Jones fight, first round knockout. It was ground and pound, but Daniel McWilliams, this is before even the Contender Series, first round knockout. Aaron Hamilton, first round knockout. A lot of first round knockouts. Like, out of those, 5 that I just read, it's a lot of first round knockouts. Now, the Anthony Thomas fight, they're not telling us what happened, but I'm assuming it was a first round knockout. They're just saying it's a win, but a lot of first round knockouts, right? This is probably the first time we've seen him ever go to decision, right? So it is what it is when it comes to something like that. And then he fights Charles Byrd, gets that done first round knockout. Jack Marshman gets it done first round knockout. And then, I saw that they got announced him versus Brad Tavares. I thought Brad was going to be too much of a test for him, and I picked Brad Tavares. And this is not a lot of guys finish Brad Tavares, And Brad looked good against Antonio Carlos Jr. And the way he was able, and I know I get a lot of slack for this, but the way he fucking hit Brad Tavares with that super kick, that sweet chin music. I know it's a pro wrestling term, but man, that's what it looked like. I know it was a left high kick, but even I was like, whoa, maybe this kid is a good elite striker. I don't know what his grappling looked like, but like against other strikers in that division, he might have a chance against them. And it was a scary time to pick against him because there's a lot of hype. Brad has never been treated like that. Like, yeah, he got finished by Whitaker. He's been finished by top guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think Yoel Romero finished him. And Adesanya didn't finish him. So it's like, to do that to a guy like that just has a good chin, is a good, well-rounded fighter. Oh my God, right? And everyone was on the hype train. And I was scared, like when they announced that Edmen was fighting Derek Brunson at UFC 248 when it was first scheduled. I almost picked Edmen, and then they kept canceling the bouts, and then COVID happened, and I started looking more at the matchup when I really thought about it. And I started doing more research, doing more film studies, looking at where these guys match up, and I thought about it for a second. Derek has moved. He's getting better. This kid has a lot of hype. Never been out the first round. Well, he's been out the first round, but he's only been out there probably once. And the one time we saw it, he didn't look that good. If Brunson can just get out of the first round, he wins the fight. And I stuck with my guns. I assumed that Brunson's veteran savvy would be able to get it done. And he got it done, and he was able to really dismantle this kid. I mean, Brunson had a performance against Kevin Holland. I predicted that one. But, Brunson, in my humble opinion, this new blonde Brunson that we've seen, and at least in his last, two fights, that was blonde Brunson's 2-0, right? I don't think he fought Ian Heinisch as blonde Brunson, so I'm going to assume he's 2-0, right? I thought even when he fought Elias Theodore, Ian Heinisch, all those guys, right now on his 4-fight win streak, that performance against Edmen was his best. He looked somewhat crisp in the stand-up. Even though his stand-up cracks me up, he actually looked really good here. He looked measured. He looked cautious. He was waiting for the moment. And, his takedowns looked decent. It didn't look like he was trying to use a lot of strength over technique. He looked good. And his ground and pound looked lethal. And he just exposed Edmen. He exposed Edmen's gas tank, everything. Edmen had decent moments in the boxing, but really right when Brunson was able to close distance, he really couldn't do anything. I don't think Edmen really has power. I think he's one of those guys that kind of hits that soft spot of the chin. I don't know why I could have talked for a second. I was struggling. Y'all see me? I was struggling, But yeah, man, Edmen is a different kind of striker. He's more technical. I don't think he really has a lot of knockout power. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be respected, but he doesn't have that kind of power you have to worry about in the third round, where it's like, oh shit, he's like Derek Lewis. Even if he's tired, he hits you, he's still a problem. He's more of a guy that, like I said before, he hits the soft part of the chin and he gets you out of there. He's not one of those guys that can hit you in your ear, right, or the side of your ear, and you're out. So he's not really that big of a deal. And Brunson was kind of able to shell up, use his high guard, take up space, and just get the takedowns, or able to kind of strike with him. Brunson was throwing body kicks at him. Brunson was not scared, and that's a grappler, right? So that's where I look at it. In terms of notable wins for Jack Hermansson, man, Jack, I mean, this guy, he's had moments where he's looked like a legitimate contender, and has a legitimate chance of maybe fighting Israel Adesanya one day and potentially beating him, right? He's looked like that. I mean, I'll never forget when he went on his original run to the top 5, right? He had his loss to Thiago Santos, right? We all saw that. He does have a loss to Cesar Ferreira, but if you ignore those, his win over Tiles Leites, Gerald Meerschaert, David Branch, and Jacare Souza, I was literally in shock. I was like, what kind of fucking steroids are they feeding this kid? He is running through these guys. And, I kind of gave him a pass on the Thiago Santos loss. And when he fought Jacare Souza, I doubted him. I really did. I was like, he cannot win this fight. He cannot. And he took it on short notice, and he went out there. I mean, his game plan was so smart. Because here's the thing with Jacare. And we're going to see what Jacare has when he fights Andre Muniz on the same card, by the way. He fell kind of in love with his striking after the Chris Weidman knockout. And he knew he was fighting a grappler in Hermansson, so he tried to play that sprawl and brawl game. But the problem is, no one ever really shoots takedowns at Jacare. So Jack Hermansson was like, you know what? I feel like this guy's probably better than me on the feet. I'm going to challenge him there. And he kind of got a lot of shock takedowns, a lot of surprise takedowns on Jacare, and he was able to get him on his back. And Jacare's a top guy. And he's not really known for any of his bottom submissions in MMA. So he was able to kind of expose that. He went for the guillotine, got really close. But here's the facts. I still think Jacare won 2 rounds, and he was piecing him up in the feet. And that's the facts. Even though he had good moments with the striking and the output, he has great output. And even though his striking is rudimentary, he can throw a lot. Even though it's a lot of fucking hooks, it's not, you barely see any straight shots out of the guy. Like if you begged him to throw a proper 1-2-3, he couldn't do it, right? But and I know no disrespect to the guy, but that's his style, and he makes it work for him. That's what makes him really good. So I'm not trying to disrespect him. It's what makes him unique. You know, Hermansson is a legitimate top guy, and the fact he can fight like that and be number 6 in the world, man, that sings praises to him. You know, he's really great. But Jacare still had a lot of success, and I saw holes in his game, and I was like, all right, somebody with a better fight IQ than Jacare at that night. I'm sorry, Jacare didn't have good fight IQ. I think could probably, play out a strategy and beat him. And he fought Jared Cannonier, and I ended up picking Cannonier on that. And now obviously, it's not on my YouTube. None of this stuff is on my YouTube. I'm just saying it. But I did pick Cannonier, and Cannonier's uppercut, his ground and pound, it was vicious, man. They both had wins over David Branch. David Branch is a legitimate, accomplished guy, but I felt like David, I don't know where around the line where David kind of gave up on his career, but it is what it is. David does have a win over Thiago Santos. Knocked him out, by the way. That is the facts. So it is what it is. But when I seen Cannonier fight David, he destroyed him. When I seen Jack fight, he kind of overwhelmed him with the grappling. Again, shocked him, because David is a legitimate Renzo Gracie black belt. So he probably was like, no one's going to do this. No one's even going to go for it. And that's the thing. He's been kind of shocking people more or less than beating. And I know this is going to sound super disrespectful, but that's how I kind of feel. I feel like he shocked a lot of guys. And guys that are ready for him and know what he's going to bring, they know how to deal with him. Cannonier knew, I have to stuff the takedowns and then put pressure on him and then let him feel my power. And obviously, Hermansson had a good round in the first, had a lot of good takedowns, but when he couldn't really submit him, and fucking Jared started to get sweaty, and Jared caught him with the uppercut and got the ground and pound. He kind of like in the ground and pound moment, right when he's getting hit, it was like, man, I think he kind of just knew. It was like, I think I blew my best shot, almost like he knew his best shot was in the first to catch him, and he kind of blew it a little bit. Then he fights Kelvin Gastelum again. Kelvin, no fight IQ. I swear to God, he doesn't have any. He wasn't born with any. And he goes for an insane, good. It was a good throw. But why are you going takedowns with a fucking jiu-jitsu? Why? What are you doing, homie? And no disrespect to KG. I like KG. KG's my boy. But that wasn't the smartest thing in the world, because I know KG's better than this guy. I don't care what nobody says. KG, doesn't matter at one planet he is from. He is better than him, all right? It doesn't matter what dimension we're in. He is better than him. It doesn't matter if we're in a different world. KG is better than him. But like I said, he kind of shocked KG going for that heel hook. He got him out of there. All respect to him. He won the fight. And then he fought Marvin Vettori. And I told y'all, Marvin knew what he had to bring. He's helped KG with a camp for him. So he's probably at least seen some of the film studies they've been doing. He's been seeing some of the things they've been breaking down. And I knew Marvin had better boxing, and he's a really good grappler himself. I knew if he could keep it on the feet, he would piece this guy up. And that's all we saw. Jack Hermansson has a lot of heart. He has great cardio, but he's a more well-rounded fighter than anything. That's one thing I can give him credit for, but that can be somewhat of a problem when you're really well-rounded, right? But let's say someone takes one part of your game away and you have to depend on something, right? It kind of can hurt you a little bit. You can kind of get exposed. Like, let's say you deal with a guy like Kumar Usman, and if you can neutralize his wrestling, I know he's a good striker, no disrespect to him. He has a great jab, but, he's not the best striker in the game. He's not better than Wonder Boy, right? So Wonder Boy would dance around him. And that's the thing with Jack. I'm not saying Jack has bad striking. It's decent, but we saw what happened. Marvin was able to neutralize the grappling and kind of expose the striking because he was a lot better than him in the boxing. And it's just that simple, right? And they're both coming off losses, so that's a good thing for Hermansson and Edmen. And here's what I look. One way I can see Edmen winning is the exact same way I can see Jared Cannonier winning. The first round or the second round. Catch him with something, put pressure on him, make him shoot for takedowns, and make him, because he does, I'm not gonna lie, he does have some predictable takedown attempts. And if you can time an uppercut or knee, you'll catch him, right? Really, Edmen has to knock him out. I don't see Edmen winning a decision. Hermansson, on the other hand, and this is how I see this fight playing out, he needs to grind on him. You know, he needs to not give this kid any space. You know, this kid can box a little bit, so he will throw body shots. He will throw hooks in the pocket. He can box a little bit. Just got to keep your hands up. Got to get the clinch. Get this kid tired. Take him to the second round again and let him know like he doesn't want to beat her. And I think that's the one way I can see Hermansson taking this. Honestly, like if Hermansson puts the wrestling pressure, like imagine if Hermansson was on top of Edmen when Brunson was on top. Like imagine those positions Brunson had on Edmen. Imagine if Hermansson was on. Like Hermansson's a finisher. He would finish him. Hermansson's grappling, no disrespect to Brunson, is on another level, right? That's all he has to do. He has to use his cardio, has to use his grappling, has to use his fight IQ to win this fight. And Edmen kind of needs to catch him. And I'm going to go with the guy that's going to use, you know, his fight IQ and his grappling. And a guy, here's the thing, they both lost, but Hermansson never quit. All right? He gave it his 110% in that fight. And I'm not saying Edmen quit, but Edmen kind of, you know, he was giving in a little bit, you know. He was unresponsive to his coaches. He just wasn't there. Jack Hermansson was ready to die against Marvin Vettori, and I got a lot of respect for that. So I'm taking Jack Hermansson by second round submission. I think he takes him down, and I think he has his way with him, if I'm being honest. No disrespect to the guy Edmen. I think he's a good kid, but Hermansson is a grown man, and there's a difference between being a kid and being a grown man. And that grown man, he got a family. He got a family to feed, and he has aspirations of being a champion. Do I think Hermansson can be a champion? I don't think so, but he fucking thinks so. So he's going to go out there and break this kid. So, sorry, my voice is a little bit, it's starting to break, y'all. After all these damn videos, my voice is starting to break. But it is what it is. I got Hermansson winning this second round submission. But yeah, that is it for my video. I'm going to try to finish this up real quick. But besides that, go follow my Instagram. Go follow my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go click the notification button. Go click all notifications so you can get all my videos and get notified of all of them. And yeah, man, let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing, y'all. And I will be doing a fight companion for UFC 262. Even though I said I was going to try to take a break from it, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I like talking to y'all. And it is what it is. I can't wait for the event. And yeah, I'm going to be doing fight companion. But that's about it. Love y'all and goodbye.